Hey, buddies, Potato Big Whiskey here, and welcome back to Let's Play Civilization 6 as Hungary. Now, I was away over the weekend because I had so many birthdays that I had to go to that I decided to stay at my parents' house rather than doing a big long drive every day. It's really awesome if your parents live near a place you need to go. You can just be like, hey, can I come, remember when I used to live at your house? Can we do that for a weekend again? And usually they're pretty chill about it. All right, so we're checking out Antium here. Well, actually, I kind of have an idea, which is depending on how long it's going to take. Well, it does have positive loyalty now. What I was going to say is if this city is going to flip independent, if I can take out these two other Australian cities and this city flips independent, I technically don't get the warmonger penalties for killing another player because they died themselves, which isn't supremely useful, but it is useful to not have to deal with those warmonger penalties because it just makes, if I remember correctly, it makes loyalty a little bit easier during your conquest. Now, where is Magnus? So Magnus is established over here in Mohacs, and we do have a couple of chops. Now let's just double check that they're in the right city. They are. Do we want to chop out builders or do we want to chop out infrastructure? I think we would like to chop out this water park. So I'm going to quickly buy this tile, place the water park, and then we can begin the process of chopping it. I guess I don't want to overflow chop here, so I'll just wait a turn for that to finish. Now, we also levied a bunch of troops from, I think these are Mogadishu troops. So probably our next target is going to be Dido, purely because of the ease of transiting my units from attacking Australia into Dido. So I can continue to get value from these units that I have. So I'm going to start moving my units up to the border with Dido so that we can prepare for that invasion. There's 1, 2 chops in here. The city already has a district, an encampment. That's nice. I don't know if we want to do much in the way of chopping. I think we'll place a nice mine right there. We do have a spy up here. Let's go ahead and gain sources in Dido. This will give us extra diplomatic visibility against her, which is basically a +3 combat strength bonus. And we'll continue the invasion of Australia here in another couple of turns. There's still 12 to 32 turns left in this age. According to, oh, hello, yeah, sure, Simon Bolivar, we can have an embassy. According to the turn counter, my troops are merely passing by, so I'm going to lie to Dido. We now have access to bombards and pike and shot. The bombards being a big key advancement right there, because if you look here, right, you can see the amount of damage. It's doing about 10% of the city's health and then about 20% of the wall's health, right? Those are ballpark numbers, might not actually be the actual. Then you compare that to a catapult, which only has 58, or sorry, a trebuchet, which only has 58 combat strength versus this thing's 74. So yeah, bombards are a lot more efficient for taking down enemy bases. I'm going to pull this trebuchet back to Sydney and promote it to a bombard. I'm going to bring this trebuchet over and promote it to a bombard in situ. And I'll bring a bombard to here so that I can step in here and hopefully get some shots on the city. Now, we do have a pike and shot here. And I'm wondering, it's a minor defeat with the Hussars. Okay, that's fine. I'll try to get more Hussars around while I heal up my units and stuff. Now, let's go ahead and choose our production here. There's metal casting. We kind of talked about this a little bit, whether or not we want to go for industrialization or if we want to just go straight into the military stuff. Now that we have Hussar, I'm kind of okay with sitting on the Hussar for a while. And we'll kind of play our way towards industrialization. We'll grab cartography, which gives you extra gold from fishing boats. The nice thing about industrialization is it does reveal coal. It gives us +1 production on all of our mines, and it gives us access to the factory of the coal power plant, which can be a great way to bump up the production of our empire. Right, we'll go ahead and grab that library in here. We're just doing some repairs in Canberra. And once all the buildings are repaired, it's just hyper efficient to repair buildings on a yield per cost basis. So I tend to do repairs. Now, I remember that, technically speaking, I can't actually put an entertainment complex here, but it was just so that I know to put it somewhere on this line, because this is the efficient line. Let's go ahead and put a plantation on there. That way we have more resources to potentially sell. I'm going to go ahead and chop out the Ferris wheel in Mohacs. Doom. And I'll get myself another gold production tile. It would have been cheaper to buy it in Dioscor and then switch it, but sometimes I'm lazy. And there. Now we can begin work on the aquarium. So the water park is going to give us, I believe, +2 amenities in this city, and the aquarium is going to be +1 across this area. So I'm just going to say focus on food and production, and we'll see what we can do to improve the production in this city. And then I think that means Magnus is ready to move, unless I wanted to chop food. which I don't necessarily feel the need to. And I'm going to move Magnus to Dioscor, like so. Okay, so Mogadishu had 2 archers over here, which is very strange. Okay, so Dido was ravaged by a natural disaster. I'm going to vote that down because I want to go to war with them. And I'll vote this one down like 6 times is a pretty safe amount. I'm going to go with 7 times. I really don't want any military emergencies to be triggering against me. Okay, a bunch of people voted it down. That worked fine. Probably overvoted. It's hard to know when and by how much you need to vote down a thing. So yeah, there's definitely some tiles we want to improve, like this one. We'll improve that mine right there because that's being worked by Buddha already. We got a builder in here. We could build a thermal bath. This is the AoE amenity building, and we would really like that. So that's +2 amenities and +2 production to each city center within 6 tiles. So that's going to be fantastic. In Kexkemet, we got our granary. We have a bunch of districts placed. I think what we'll do is we'll go industrial zone, aqueduct, dam in that order to pump up the city's production. And we'll get you to hang out here. That's fine. So Brisbane is flipping to me. Adelaide is flipping to me. Let's make Adelaide go a little bit faster. Ooh, forward observers is like super amazing because it gives you +1 range, which means you can shoot over a lot of stuff. So if I move this Hussar 1 tile to the left, and then this Hussar is here, we have now covered all of the tiles. So the city is under siege and won't recover any health. Go ahead and shoot that guy. You can't melee attack into the lake if I remember correctly, so we won't be able to do that. We have troops positioned on the border. We'll be ready to move them soon. It's just not quite time to attack Dido. Okay, sick. They did a little bit of counterattacking, nothing too crazy. Took a little bit of damage. You do have a promotion. I think shells is worth taking. So let's hammer this district some more. We could attack with the melee unit. Well, attack with this artillery so that I can level it up and get a heal off it. And I'm going to move this trebuchet forward to here and turn it into a bombard. We got the market in Egger. We have 7 out of 9 trade route capacity, so we could use a trader here. Just for the sake of it, I'll build a trader in the city that just built a harbor. I'm also going to build a trader in here, just so we can move some around. Maybe I should build a trader in higher production cities and then focus on not traders here. So let's see, yeah, you're working, you don't have a whole lot of production tiles. You have the commercial hub. Probably the next thing to build is the encampment. Let's get to work on the encampment instead. You got yourself a monument. We're going to grab ourselves the stable. Stables are better than barracks purely because they apply their bonuses to a better class of units, siege and cavalry. Ballarat, we can now go for the military academy. That'll be really useful for production. Canberra, let's get your university. Fantastic. There is a entertainment complex here, which is cool. And in Sydney, pretty much got everything we need. We could build some wonders. I don't think we need wonders in this game, so I will go for the market. It's worth 8 gold per turn and a trade route, so that's extremely powerful. It's worth 8 gold per turn because of my relationships with city-states. I do have 4 envoys to spend. Zanzibar could be a good grab before the war with Dido, so I'm going to grab them and levy them. That'll get me another 2 envoys with them, plus a bunch of units to use, and it puts Dido in an even worse position. Now, okay. We've got this line infantry. Let's move him up. We've got some man-at-arms outside Zanzibar. Let's upgrade them. That is what gold is great for being used for. We need to wait for Magnus to establish there. I have a Hussar. I'll start moving him to the front line. Extra food wouldn't do a huge amount for Buddha. I mean, you have a count here. So you're working 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you have potential for another tile. I'll grab this because that is about a 10% production increase for the city, and then I'll grab this because you'll work this as well later. So I just want to turn my capital into a big production powerhouse. Then we'll come over here. We've got some tiles to improve. We definitely need more builders. I'm going to chop here just to finish this really quickly. And then we can get the armory, keep pumping up our productivity. So there's the Renaissance era, there's totalitarianism, there's cartography. Fantastic. We're about to get nationalism, which is when we can start making cores. This is going to be a big step forward. Now, unfortunately, the downside of getting cores is that the city-state levy units start to fall off. So we are going to keep this city. Of course, we're going to let Brisbane just flip on its own. It'll be flipping in a few turns. And then we're just going to leave Melbourne here. We can come back from Melbourne later. And I think what we'll do is we'll see if we can declare a joint war. Who was my military ally again? Simon Bolivar. Let's see if we can get him to do a joint war on Dido. And that will get us an extra +5 combat strength against her. Now, Where's Yongle? Yonglei's over here. So what if we got an alliance with Yongle as well? I'll just go for a research alliance with him. I'll get him to try to pay me a little bit. That's fine. I'm going to quickly open up the quick deals here. Does anyone have luxuries we can buy? Yes. And then we'll quickly sell any luxuries we have for some gold per turn. We got the archaeological museum in Buda. Let's grab an archaeologist for the culture. It is still worth it. We are only at nationalism. In pest, I think we want to get the stable now that we have the encampment. We have our military academy here, so in theory in 2 turns we'll be able to start producing cores. Let's take a look at this city. Definitely some builder potential. I see at least 2 tiles here that could be improved by builders. I'm going to say focus on production. So I think what I will do is quickly grab a single builder in here as we can improve these volcano tiles. These flatland tiles aren't very valuable. Coming into Adelaide, we'll grab the watermill because it's an easy repair, and then we'll start moving our line infantry forward. Now we are coming up against a core here, so it will be pretty strong. He is defender of the shop, he is grape shot, he's got all the good anti-unit promotions. Personal preference is always focus on killing enemy units before you try to kill anything else, but also make sure you pillage because you get a lot of resources from pillaging. Heal up, move, cross the river. You have a promotion now. I'll get forward observer. So I have a bunch of bombards with long range, which is fantastic. We're moving these military units up to the northeast if we can. We would love to be citizen of Rapa Nui as well. Doing a little bit of scouting on his borders. Then we've got this guy. Send you over that way. You guys are staying fortified around Nazca. I'm being denounced by Menelik II. He's kind of mad at me. That's fine. And then he wants to do a trade deal. I don't really want to trade away my strategics. I kind of want to keep them. Okay, Renaissance era ends in 7 turns. Grant 3 envoys at this city-state. This great person ignores closed borders. So this is actually extremely useful. I don't remember this guy being part of the pack. I don't think I've ever gotten that one before. Let's recruit him. We have a trader. Now, I don't think Kozeg has an internal trade route, but I don't know if it needs it. Whereas a place like Győr might need it. So does Daizigor have it? Yeah, Daizigor has it. So we could also start doing the reverse where we trade out from Pest, from Buda. That's also a totally valid choice if we want to pump up that city's individual production. I do like empire-wide production myself. I'm going to put the trader into Antium because I don't... Oh, it does have it. Well, and then you go ahead and build me another trader. I'll find a place that needs a trader. So I don't think this city needs a trader anymore. Maybe it would be better if I put this trader into Launceston so that I can get a trade route to Buda. So let me go ahead and put this trader into Launceston, and we can start working on improving these new Australian lands that we've conquered. Rapa Nui is probably a good target for this. So I'll send the Great Merchant up that direction. And I've got a Hussar, head this way. We're not ready to chop because Magnus isn't in the city. We finished a builder over here. I'll go improve this farm because it is being worked by a city. And it is a resource tile, not just a regular flatland farm. Regular farms, not good. I'm going to bring back this musketman so I can upgrade you to a line infantry. We've got this guy. Boom. Okay, he's dealt with. Now, I'll move you in here and I'll pillage. Move you to here. Move this crossbowman to take a shot. Great. I'll move my bombard over so we can start pounding this city. We'll bring some line infantry forward. I'm going to let these hussars rest because they got a little bit hurt, but they should have some promotions soon. This hussar isn't hurt, so I'm going to zip it forward. I'll bring this bombard forward as well, and we can start blasting Byblos. I'll give you a moment to heal. Bring you forward. You can blast this encampment. Excellent. So we've got bombards on the borders with Byblos. Let's try saying that 5 times fast. Bombards on the borders with Byblos. Australia wants peace. I'm sorry to tell you that the Hungarian Empire doesn't recognize the concept of peace. My troops are merely passing by. I'm not looking to declare war on you. So there's nationalism. We can build units faster if we want. Basic infantry units. Our units lose less combat strength from being wounded, and we can construct additional spies. We do want that spy. So I think the spy is a higher value than an archaeologist, so I'll put that at the top of the construction queue here. In Pest, we finished the stable. Let's get the armory. Although you might build the spy faster, technically. We'll see. It's fine. It might be better to build a spy over here. 9 turns? Okay, whatever. Yeah, we'll build a spy in the capital because it's a good city. Right, there's Adelaide. So now that Adelaide has finished repairs. We're going to go ahead and start building it up with things like monuments and granaries. None of the units in here are in enough danger for me to want to like fully retreat them. This crossbowman took a hit, so I'll retreat him to heal. There's no point in losing units. You should only lose a unit if you're going to get something for losing the unit. But if you can save a unit and lose nothing and still gain what you're looking to gain, then why not? Right, we're going to just blast the city of Byblos. I'm also going to pillage some of the gold infrastructure. I'm going to blast across the river so that we can put the city under siege. I think we'll pillage this. That'll shave a turn off of our research. I'm going to push my bombards forward so that I can get more bombards in and attacking. Keep moving up bombards from the back lines. I like how fast they are. I'll let you heal for one more turn just so you're at full health. There's something psychologically comforting about being at full health. I mean, that explains my 30s. Why my the psychological comfort has been declining. All right. Goddamn city-state units requiring me to think. So Launceston Trader is here. We could trade with Buddha or Pest. I think Buddha would be nice because it is the extra growth. The extra growth is really valuable. And plus, I think that road is really valuable too, the one that goes through here. Whereas if it was Pest, it would go down this way. Whereas I like the road that goes through. A bunch of people were like in the comments like, oh, you almost got the pronunciation right. And I'm pretty sure I just made vowel sounds of a man who's just seen a cosmic horror. So that's Hungarian for you. Just make cosmic horror vowel sounds and you're good to go. All right, we got to chop this woods over here because the city's working it. Plus, it'll speed up the thermal bath, and then we can put a mine on it because mines are the one true tile is a mine. Every other tile is a pretender to the mine. Let's grab the market. Yeah, I know technically the harbor would have been better, but I wanted the markets because I really like getting great merchants, and I just don't really need the great admirals for anything, so that's why I prioritized the commercial hubs. A couple of people were asking me like, why did you prioritize the commercial hubs over the harbor? And the harbor better? It's like, yeah, the harbor is better, but I just wanted, sometimes I like to play a little bit differently purely because it's different, right? Sometimes you play this, if you play the same way every single game, every single day, it's just not as fun as shaking it up a little bit, right? Let's put a trader into Ballarat. It's time to start building up these Australian lands. They're going to be really useful as time goes along. Ballarat. Renaissance eras. We've got frigates, we've got embarked unit movement, square rigging is advanced, we've got economics advanced, and rifling advanced. We're on the verge of getting industrialization, only a couple of turns away. I am going to keep pillaging these campuses so that I can get more. Let's push you this way, and we'll kind of do a little bit of shuffling so that we can get another bombard into range of the city and just absolutely hammer it. Can we capture it? Perfect. Right, Byblos is mine. We will be keeping it. You go ahead and take a promotion. We want shells. We'll step you forward. You take crew weapons as well. Don't really want to attack with the knight at the moment. And then we'll just keep pushing up our siege units. And this huzzah. How huzzah. Okay. We've got an armory. We've got the we can go for the military academy next, which is going to be +4 production, plus an additional 3 production for every militaristic city-state we become tier 3 friend with. I'm going to put 2 envoys into Rapa Nui so that we can slowly steal the suzerainty of that. As they're on our border, they're right here. We got a commercial hub in Tata completed. So I'm going to go ahead and get to work on the market for the trader. I've still got room for 2 trade slots, but that's fine. Canberra has finished doing all of its repairs. I think there's a lot of builder potential in this area, so I think it is time to start producing builders in the Australian lands. Coming into Byblos, we need to repair our campus and our library in here that we just pillaged. I have a governor title. I may as well appoint Reina. That way I get the +1 era score from having 1 of each governor. I can use them as loyalty sticks if I don't get a golden age. I will get a golden age, but just in case I don't. Let's cross the river with this musketman and upgrade him to a line infantry so that he's stronger and ready to fight. A couple of line infantry could break the city of Sbrton, but I'm just going to use them to do some pillaging so that I can kind of direct resources in a unitary direction. Okay, builder is ready. There's a tile over here we can improve, so head that way. Are we still in a monumentality? We are, so we could use our faith to quickly buy builders. I'm going to quickly buy them in Debrecen. From Ballarat, we would like to trade with Buddha, I believe. That would be nice. Might lose that knight, but it's okay. The knight isn't the most important unit in our army, so it's okay if we lose it. Brisbane has flipped independent, so it will flip towards us relatively soon. The Renaissance era ends in 4 turns. There's another trader in here. We could trade with Buddha. This city just doesn't get as much benefit as some of the other newer cities. So like the marginal utility a trader increases the weaker the city is. In Koseg, we have our encampment, we have our industrial zone. We did want to build an entertainment complex actually, so I will get to work on that so we can get the AoE amenities. We would like the happiness. This is a mod that I have here that shows the happiness. Has an armory. Let's get to work on the military academy. Again, great generals, all that stuff. Although I am concerned that I don't have a great general yet. In theory, I should get Napoleon. Right, let's take a look at this situation. I'm going to pull this knight back to a safe distance because what's the point in losing a unit if you don't have to? I'm going to promote this line infantry with commando so that he's faster. You're going to step forward and pillage a farm to heal, basically just tanking. Let's move you forward and plunder this trade route. I think we'll start positioning artillery at Ugarit. You have attack range of 2, so I'll get you closer. You have an attack range of 3, so I only need to get you to here. Start blasting the city. You have an attack range of 3, so I can take you here. Attack range of 2. Let's try to take out these units. You have a promotion. Let's get that promotion. I think that's all the bombards having acted. Let's move up. Clear this. You blast him. I'll zip this builder into the city, or at least under another unit to keep it safe. Across the river. And yeah. The offensive will continue. Pillage this tile. I'll send this guy up here as well to get to work on some pillaging. Huzzah. I have another builder completed. I'll send it down to Kozag. They could make use of this. And I'll send this builder over here. There's a few tiles in the area that need a little bit of improvement. We'll pull away this builder. This city will take 10 turns to flip independent. That's fine. Let's keep listening post. Whoops. I think I was doing that wrong. So that now we're getting the +3 combat strength. Yeah, +3 from intel on opponent's movements. I pressed the wrong button, just autopilot. That's an autopilot error, right? It happens. All right, enemy units are killing themselves against us or just lightly bombing us. I'm going to refuse peace with Australia. We have a builder in Estergom, so we can go ahead and improve these volcano tiles. That's excellent. We're at Scorched Earth, so it still is worth it to build an archaeological museum, in my opinion. We do have the market in here now, so a trader wouldn't be terrible. I'll get to work on the harbor. We would actually really like a builder, so I'm quickly going to buy one here, even though technically it would be slightly more efficient if I purchased them over here. It's not a big deal. We got the military academy in Ballarat. The archaeological museum would be nice, so we will grab that. The extra little bit of culture will add up. All right, builder's almost in position to start improving these tiles down here. Slowly working our way over to Rapa Nui, so we flip them. We want to trade with Buddha from Canberra here. So we've got this nice trader coming along, building roads, but also just improving this Australian land so we can get it up and running. You know, conquering land, it takes a bit of work to get it up to like human player standard when you take it from the AI. All right, we'll start blasting Ugarit again, although this guy's ready to promote, so we'll grab expert crew. Now, you have +3 attack range, so you can do it there. This guy only has 2, so we'll get him closer. I'll move you over to here and then promote you with battle cry so that you're healed. I'll repair some tiles with my worker. Move this bombard forward a bit and then start blasting this encampment so that we can push to Sidon. I'll move this bombard onto the dam so that it's in range at Ugarit. And then we would like to put the city under siege, and so we will try to make sure that it's under siege, just so it doesn't recover any health. It doesn't make a huge difference, but it does make a difference. So it's like a little bit of a bonus, like in terms of how quickly you can take a city. It might shave an attack off, right? And you know, sure, that's not a ridiculous amount, but it does make a difference. And again, remember, we always want to be thinking about like how do we accumulate a huge number of small bonuses that we can translate into a big bonus. That's kind of like the way that we want to be thinking about things. Could be worth it to pillage faith. Why not? We are kind of purchasing builders. We could faith purchase a couple of settlers if we really want these coastal cities. I kind of laid them out as like, oh, it would be nice. In a perfect world, we would go for these. So I think a city-state just declared war on me. I need to get my military alliance with Simon Bolivar back. There's +4 era score. So Simon, why don't you do a military alliance with me? Perfect. Which means I'll get my +5 combat strength against Dido back because Simon Bolivar will still be at war with her. So now when I go to shoot, we can see +5 from the Raven King, Foreign Ministry, Intel, and Shells There should be one from a alliance, but I don't know if it's showing up. Anyway. Get blasting. All right, we're taking out this encampment. We're taking out this city. Looking good. Lots of siege units. We've got a range 3 right here. Kapow. We finished our thermal bath, which has given us a bunch of amenities. Let's have a look. Yeah, you're working mostly improved tiles as far as I can tell. There's kind of a couple of weirdnesses out at the edge. Did you go for... I think you went for an art museum. We could go for the encampment in here. It's not a completely terrible move. It would significantly improve the city's ability to produce units. So I think I do like that. I don't see a reason to go for anything else. So we'll just go ahead and pop an encampment right here. And we can start producing units out of that. I've got the military academy in Pest. So we'll quickly grab ourselves an archaeologist so that we can keep our culture nice and strong. It's always worth it to improve your culture. It's getting to the point in the game where it's not worth it to improve our culture anymore because it's not going to shave many turns off the road to fascism. But coming into Sydney here, we got our market, which is good. So there's now more trade routes available. I will grab a trader for Sydney though. Biblos has repaired its campus, so we'll go ahead and repair the library as well. That's worth +2 science. It should be worth more science, but there's actually no scientific city-states that I've discovered, which is really interesting. I haven't played Civ 6 as much as I am used to. Or I haven't played Civ 6 as much as I used to play, so my memory for what the scientific city-state names were is kind of not as good. So I could theoretically look at the map and be like, oh, that was a scientific city-state that someone conquered. But my memory of that is just isn't as good because I haven't played a ridiculous amount of this game over the last year. So I'm almost like rediscovering. I think I would rather focus on improving tiles rather than chopping because I do see there's a lot of potential for Magnus if he comes up through here, which does mean we need to make sure we make use of the builders that we get down here. So let me quickly go ahead and faith buy another builder. Beautiful. We could put in a big old farm triangle here if we wanted to meme, but it wouldn't be super useful. I think it's time to start sending builders up to the Australian lands. Let's faith purchase another builder. What are we looking at here in terms of turns left? We've got 2 turns left. I could actually faith purchase the trader in here, because they're pretty cheap and cost efficient to purchase. It's like pretty nice. Now coming into Sydney, I do think that the city needs like tile improvements. It's got very, very low quality tiles in terms of like the improvements. Like if you just look, like it's working a lot of unimproved, unchopped tiles. So we'll go ahead and grab ourselves some builders to make use of this land. Now this builder in Koseg, we're going to go ahead and repair this tile. You're working, yeah, that's all fine. I've got no qualms with whatever you're working on. Our builders are going to get a little bit slower now. Okay, can you sneak into Rapa Nui? Damn it. All right, we'll pillage here. You zip over this way. You're ready. You're going to pillage that again. Fortify on that tile so this guy kills himself on you. When he attacks you, you want to be friends. Mr. Canada. I'm being denounced by the Zulu. Not a big deal. It looks like a city. Oh, okay. I thought a city went independent. I thought a city had just flipped, but it was actually just a mercenary contract running out. Okay, so we got industrialization now. That's going to trigger a few changes. I'm curious. We have found like so many sources of coal, I bet. Yeah. We found like there's 3. I think we found 7 sources of coal in total, and most of them are already improved. There is one over here that we need to fix. Oh yeah, that's so much coal. Beautiful. There's even some over here that needs to be improved. Okay, great. Now that we have this, if we continue along the top of the tree, that's like more aircrafty. I would like to go for artillery and oil. So I think what we're going to do is go for ballistics into rifling, into refining so that we can get oil because oil is used for artillery. We got our shipyard in Győr, which is fantastic. The city will continue to grow. I will say focus on food and production. I'll focus on food first. Then, I'll build a trader in here. That's good use of production. We got a builder in Launceston. There's so many tiles that can be improved. Thinking like 2 builders per city is going to be a good amount. Let's go here and chop. Then we'll go here and chop. And then we'll get to work on the lighthouse. It'll be a single turn. And then make sure we get this chop as well. And then we'll be able to move Magnus next turn. Excellent. Got builders on the way to the northwest. You're actually in position to fix this. So many tiles to improve. Okay, I'll get Sydney to trade with Adelaide because this will be done in 32 turns, which will mean we have trading posts there, which will extend our trading range, making future trade routes a little bit easier to do. Let's keep blasting this. Its walls are broken, so it shouldn't be able to shoot anymore. Kabul, we need to re-levy. It's going to be 1,000 gold, but it is worth it to levy. You're continuing to pillage. Good job. Now, yeah, that will slow our invasion down by a turn. Byblos is flipping. Let me actually quickly, really quickly grab Victor and reassign him to Byblos. I didn't realize there was a loyalty issue there, but we'll get that fixed. Let's get some pillages going using our hussars. How huzzah! All right, pillage, pillage, pillage. Just trying to steal whatever resources we can during warfare is worth it. Get this crossbowman over to shoot this guy. Now, we're going to build a mine right here. We're trying to improve all this territory that we've captured. Having a lot of territory is valuable in of itself, but the way to make it extremely valuable is to improve it with builders. So Burton has built some walls. We've got a catastrophic eruption over here near Machu Picchu. It's good and it's bad. It's good because it made the tiles more fertile. It's bad because it destroyed stuff. Okay, yields from pillaging. That one could be good for us to take since we are doing a bit of pillaging. I don't know if we need it. Military organization is worth it in my opinion. So I think Merge Confederation is an easy drop, even though it's a lot of gold, whereas this is just a ridiculous amount of Great General points. +2 for every armory and +4 for every military academy. That's like +6 per city. That's a ridiculous amount of Great General points, all but guaranteeing us to get some. Now, unfortunately, we're not going to get any until the modern era. Okay, so the world has entered the industrial era, and we can go to arms. This is really good because it gives us way less grievances for wars. And the advantage of that is this has positive effects for loyalty. It just makes it so much easier to hold loyalty during war. And also the 15% production towards military units is really, really nice. I could argue Heartbeat of Steam would be really good, but I'm going to go for 2 arms. Okay. So we have Scorched Earth. Let's get to work on civil engineering and urbanization because we're looking to go for mobilization so that we can get big armies. We have entertainment complexes completed in Koseg. So we're going to get to work on the arena because we want the thermal bath for the AoE amenities because having really high amenities is very valuable for total yields. A lighthouse in Dioscure is fantastic. It won't actually give us an extra trade route, but we can then chop out the shipyard, although we don't have the extra movement, so that'll take a little bit longer. In Adelaide, we've completed a monument. I'm going to quickly grab myself a builder in here. I do think that's very valuable. In Byblos, we've done some repair work. We still have a lot of repair and basic infrastructure to build, so we'll get to work on that. I have 2 envoys to spend, and I think Rapa Nui would be a nice one. So we're going to keep fighting for Rapa Nui due to its positioning. I do not know where this military engineer came from. Was this a Kabul military engineer? That's baffling. Okay, we'll chop here. That'll finish the military academy. We will quickly grab ourselves a commercial hub. Positioning of the commercial hub isn't super important. We need to build that. Okay, you're heading over there. You're heading over here. Probably a good time to plug in logistics, the card that gives your units +1 movement speed when they're inside your borders. We may want to consider going for steam power to get railroads, to start building railroads so that we can reinforce our front lines a little bit easier. I think that is and can be very worth it. I'm trying to avoid doing any chops in the Australian lands until I have Magnus in position. Let's keep cracking this encampment. You've taken a significant amount of damage. Let's go ahead and take the expert crew promotion. Let's get blasted here. Bum, bum, bum. Ugarit is falling. Mohenjo-Daro's armies have unlevied, so we'll levy them again. And this is why we need lots of gold income so that we can keep levying. Pillage for some health, you pillage for this, and then plunder the trade route. We're just trying to extract value from war. All right, pillaging is going well. Excellent, excellent, excellent. So many choppable tiles. Maybe we'll make an exception for Adelaide. So I tell you what, I'm just going to plan out Adelaide's tiles. It's going to be 1,000,000 mines. I say 1,000,000, it was 4. You have a promotion, so let's move you 1 tile to the left, and then we'll promote you a tortoise. And then we're going to get you forward to slam this guy. Perfect. That'll get you a promotion as well. Beautiful. Ooh. This is a Kabulian unit. I'm trying to think about where's the safest place to get it. Maybe here, because it's on a food pillage. So as long as it doesn't die, it'll be able to heal and move. Yeah, we don't need builders here. Okay, maximum freedom, blah, 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 blah. All right, there's civil engineering. We are going to change the public works card in. I think we do like liberalism just for all the amenities. Retainers will go obsolete soon. But otherwise, I'm pretty happy with the government that we have selected at the moment. We could get Jane Austen, why not? Pride and Prejudice, beautiful. We have an encampment here now. So let's get to work on the stable, and then we'll get to work on the armory. You know the drill. This place does not have a trader, so we'll go ahead and buy one or build one. I don't really know where to put you. Okay, so we're going to repair that tile. Excellent. We're going to go ahead and build a mine right here. Oh yeah, look at all this juicy territory that we have to improve. It's very nice seeing. I love this builder lens that kind of shows you like which tiles have been or need to be improved. It's very, very satisfying to turn the map like this beautiful gray color, which means you've done all the things you need to do. It's sort of like a checklist. See how this tile turns gray after you improve it. I'll chop that just for fun. Coming into Launceston, let me see. So we've got a mine right here. What's this? This is a grassland tile. Go there and go there and then chop, and then the builder comes. It's fine. You have a promotion. Let's get shells. You are about to get a promotion. We will be shells as well. Let's crash in here. We want to break this encampment so we can go ahead and hit Sidon without getting shot twice per turn. I don't know if we need many more shots on this city. I'll put another one in. That should be 2 melee attacks will do the job. Excellent. +1 era score. And we will keep the city. Probably should have pillaged with this Hussar first. It's fine. I'll put him in this encampment and put him to sleep. Which I always think when I say that, it sounds like I'm killing the unit. It's like, oh, we're going to put him to sleep. Again, it's like he was a treasured family pet. All right, let's start moving some bombards in the general direction of the enemy forces. We start blasting tire out of it now. Ugarit's going to need some repairs, so I'll just queue up a bunch of repair work. It'll keep the city busy for a very long time, but that in part is the goal. The goal is to just like get a lot of the sort of stuff just lined up. Very efficient. It's very efficient, like on a per yield, per production basis. Like how much yield return you get versus the amount of production you put in to repair buildings when you conquer a city. But you could also look at it as like the cost to actually get the city to produce what it was producing before you conquered it. So there's kind of different ways to look at it. Let's chop here to finish the shipyard. Then we'll go ahead and improve the mine. And now I can move Magnus. I will put him into Canberra because Canberra looks like a very, very fertile place in terms of choppability. It's all jungle chop, so well, actually, you know what? We could go for a zoo here, although no, we can't build a zoo because we're Hungary. We're not a normal civilization, so the zoo is actually not on the menu. I wish the zoo was on the menu. I want to know what a capybara tastes like with a side of elephant. Me when I'm in the 1800s explorer. Isn't it kind of interesting that dudes would go like in the 1800s? They're like, oh look, I went to this country. And no one was there. I was like, there's like a bunch of people living there. And he's like, I discovered all these things. And it's like, you could have just asked the people who live there. You know what I mean? Just because you didn't think of them as people. It's crazy. Like, I discovered these species. It's like there's been people living there for years, man. All right, we'll pillage. Start blasting tire. We'll level up this bombard so it heals. Then we'll break this district. Can we get the kill now? Excellent. So that's that cleaned up. I may as well move you forward. Let's move you to here so you can continue to blast the city of Tyre. We need to swap you two so you can shoot. Take some time to heal up, good sirs. We got the stable in, so we'll get the armory now, so we get extra military production capabilities. Go ahead and pillage, capture, do all those juicy things. And we'll chop here, that'll get us another builder, and then we can start improving Adelaide's production. Probably a lot of people are like, why don't you peace out Australia so the cities don't count as occupied anymore? And it's really just because it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Well, it looks like you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 5, 6, 7, 8 more cities that we can take from Dido. Really, we're interested in the capital and the stuff that's on the continent. If they're left over here with a city, I might just piece them out. But I'm going to kind of sweep up here to this peninsula and then sweep to the east. And then we'll probably look to get Vilnius, get suzerainty of Vilnius so we can attack Zulu from multiple directions. And then once we're finished with Zulu, we can start looking at Caesar. Once we're finished with Caesar, we can start looking at Jonglei and Menelik. Yeah, I want to say that progress is progress. I'm going to thank you guys very much for watching. I love you all very much, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.